Okay, so we're going to start up on our feet. So get yourself up there. I had the pleasure of sitting in on a class Jane offered yesterday. We started the first class in this realm, just sending it out to specific clients of ours that it directly applied to. And then the class will go more public in the future. But it was a class talking about osteopenia and osteoporosis and modifications and the whys and how to build stronger bones, which is important to all of us, whether or not we're already in that predicament, right? So I want you to just, today I'm gonna introduce a couple things that I got to learn from Jane yesterday as part of our warm-up. And yeah, it was just really cool. So thank you, Jane, because it's always fun to be a student and not always be the teacher too, right? We all like that. So one thing is, I'm just gonna have you start, this is one of those looks easy, but you gotta get your mind in the game, by just picking, I'm staying close to you for a minute, but all I'm gonna do is pick up my heels and then set them down. But as you keep going with that, I'm gonna ask that you not be gentle about it. So you float up and then you're just gonna like, down. I hope you saw my computer just shook. My whole family's gonna wonder what I'm doing. So when you come down, let your heels be heavy. So we're trying to create that nice vibration in our body that stimulates our bones. And I'm pretty sure Jane might have said there's research out there that if we do this 50 times a day, it creates a positive impact to our bone mass. Is that true, Jade Gore? Look, oh yeah, some more jumping. Yeah. So we're kind of doing the mild version, I suppose, right? Of letting our body get that little stimulus. But I love this for those who are like not keen, right, on jumping. But think how you can create a jumping jack. That doesn't have to be hard on the body. I love this because it takes us right into just that neurological response, right? It kind of starts like giving that rhythm to the body. For me, it starts warming up my feet, right? We're doing this now morning time live. So often I wake up and my feet feel a little more rigid than I'd like them to. So now when you come down, just let your feet sit on the floor. And now I just want you to rock side to side. So I'm just starting that rock from a place of rocking to the outside of one foot. And I'm just gonna go onto the arch of one and the outside of the other. And wanting to feel that sensation that my feet, shins, and ankles are getting a little stretch. Now, if you have had ankle sprains or breaks, right, you're gonna feel some tightnesses here. And just so you all know, I'm aware you can't see my face, but it's not important at this moment. I want you to be able to see my feet. All right, so now can you roll out and roll in? Roll out, roll in. I definitely feel more on my roll out. So again, if you're just thinking about how the shins, the lower leg muscles reach into the feet, you're giving them this nice stretch, starting to warm up that soft tissue, coming out and in, out and in. Last two, out and in, out and in. Now I want you to pick up all 10 toes and put them down. Pick them up, put them down. Just toes, up, down, up, down, up, down. So I'm gonna go pretty quick. I'm picking them up, putting them down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Doesn't take long, and then I start to feel the tops of my feet and into my shins. A little fatigue starts kicking in there. Pick them up, keep them up, keep them up. Put just your big toe down, only big toe, down and up. Both big toes, down and up. Keep your other toes lifted. 4, 3, 2, 1. Can you lower the other toes and lift them up? Keep your big toe down. I feel one foot is more responsive. Oh, and if you have to look, sometimes it's helpful. I see some of you naturally just looked down. Toes up, down, keeping the big toes down the whole time. And now just let the feet come to a relaxed state. Oftentimes you'll kind of feel the whole foot in itself sort of just melted into the mat. Great, so now I want you to come to a wider sit. So we're gonna go feet pretty wide, sitting that tail down there. And then I just want you to rock your weight side to side. So important that you start with pretty wide legs, right? You can all kind of sense in this, the satisfaction is not going to be the same. And I feel a little bit more in my knees than I want to. I'm going to pop this up for a minute. So in that pretty wide stance, letting yourself float over. Good, and float over. Start letting the arms just naturally follow. So think of your body just kind of like a wave side to side. Maybe your chest now starts to turn a little bit more. Slow it down. Go ahead and stay to one side. You put your hands on that knee. Stretching through that inner thigh. Pick up your toes, your whole foot, really, other than the heel, and then set the foot down. Up with the foot, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Tailbone reaches back, chest comes forward, and up you come. Bring the hands to the other side. So first, just looking for that inner thigh stretch. And then pick everything up at the heel, place it down. Pick it up, place it down. Keep thinking of that tailbone reaching behind you. 2 more. Last one, foot down, tail back, chest forward. Ooh, I get a little bit more there. Push into the hand and coming up. And just staying in your wide stance, let your toes come toward me. And we're going to just slide one arm down, feeling that side bend. And glide it back. Slide the other one down. And glide it back up. One more, sliding down. So we're thinking about all the space we're creating here. And back up. One more. Feeling it through that side. And back up. Let's take our arms out to the sides. And our focus is going to go into the rib cage. So we're going to think of pulling or drawing the rib across the room and then drawing it the other way. Notice as I keep going, it's not this, right? It's no longer a side bend. We're trying to slide our ribs side to side. This is not always the easiest thing to achieve. So just give yourself some time. Think about that lower rib reaching across, reaching across. It's hard to isolate those ribs. I see it in some of you moving, right? It's like, oh, how do I get that part to move? So just keep thinking it through. The hips stay steady, right? So I'm not swaying my body weight. Ribs, ribs, ribs. I suppose if you think of a friend pulling you, right? That's helpful. And then taking one hand behind the head, one behind the low back, and a big switch. Soften those knees. Ah, yes. One more each way. And then taking those arms, shake them out. Let them be heavy. Flick, 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 shake, shake, shake. 3, 2, 1, done. Let your arms just come to rest. Let your eyes close. We're going to think of breathing all the way around the rib cage. So as you inhale, can you imagine that barrel-like rib cage filling in all directions, widening? And as you exhale, feel the rib cage narrow and feel the presence of your abdominals turn on to get all of the exhale out. Inhale, filling through the ribs. And exhale, let all the air go until you feel your abdominals connect. Giving yourself another time, taking it at your own pace, thinking of the whole barrel expanding. Can you get a little bit more through the sides and under the armpits? And as you exhale, feel the narrowing effect. Good, let the eyes come to open. Now I just want you to rock forward onto the ball of your feet and rock towards your heels. You feel a little different with your legs wide. You'll feel new things turn on. Some of you will already start to feel how we're working out here. And some of you will feel more inner thighs. Could you lift the heels, lift the toes, lift the heels, lift the toes, lift the ball of the foot, lift the heels, lift the ball of the foot, lift the heels. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Heel toe, get your feet back together. Awesome. Okay. So in our standing position, you can do this on or off of your mat. The more push you have under, the more challenge because it kind of throws the stability off. So you just pick what's best for you, also in your space, right? If you don't want to be as daring due to what's around you, that's fine. So coming to stand fist width apart and just find a comfy spot in your legs. I want you to soften your knees and think of hinging right at your hip, sending your butt behind you as your chest comes forward. So if I turn to the side, right, I sat down, noticing how my knees did not come over my feet. My butt went backwards. All right, I'm gonna stay low here, but we're gonna go ahead and slide one leg out and staying low. My hinge is here, and I'm gonna pick that foot up off the floor. Now you'll quickly realize that the depth of your hinge will affect the work. Now you know how to lift this leg, whether it's an inch or 3, don't care. But I want you to actually focus on this knee. And I want you to think about that knee tracking towards your pinky toe. So start noticing how quickly that knee might fall right in the direction of your big toe. And can you get that knee to think of its light shining towards the pinky toe? Ooh, now both hips are on fire. Keep that foot out there on the floor, leg is straight. Just slide it behind you. Now pick it up and down. It's the butt, right? You can always put a finger on a chair or a countertop, a dresser if you need to. Now I'm going back to focusing on my standing leg. And can I think of that knee tracking towards my pinky toe? And then also being so aware of how easy it'd be for it just to go right over there if I wasn't being mindful of it. Last 3. Focus on that standing knee to the pinky toe. Final 1, can you keep it up there? And now little pulses through the standing leg. You can put your back foot down, you can put your hand on something, but as I'm pulsing through the standing leg, I want my knee moving toward my pinky toe. 3, 2, 1, up, 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 up. Stand on both feet. Woo! Check it out. Now, mind you, when I'm telling you to bring that towards your pinky toe, I know it's actually just going in the middle of your foot, right? Nobody is going to track over there and be on the outside of their foot. It's just to get you away from it going to that big toe. All right, here we go. Hands can come here, knees soften, and then think a little hinge right there. So it's not from me rounding my back, right? My back is straight. Oh boy, here we go. As you know, without even thinking about it, I went right to my favorite side. So this one is going to be harder. Okay, so I'm going to start kicking this leg up. And if I find my hinge was too deep, right, and I have to come more upright, then that's what we have to do. I'm coming up just a couple inches. Woo! So now focus on this knee. And as I keep lifting my leg, kind of autopilot over there, I'm going to keep thinking about this knee staying towards the middle to pinky toe. This one really wants to creep in and help me balance. 3, 2, and 1. Slide it behind us. Pick the foot up, put it down. Up, down, up, down. Whew. Focus back on the knee. Once you get that leg moving back there, can this leg stay the same? So I don't want you to lift this heel, right? You're staying flat-footed. 2 more. Last one. Can you keep it up there and pulse? Keep it there. Back leg is pulsing. Drop that back foot down, slide it to the outside of the room. Now the pulse is here. Down, up, down, up, down, up. Think about where this knee is going. Towards the middle or pinky toe. 4, my leg's on fire. 3, 2, and 1. Come up, 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 up. Woo, shake it out. It's one of those where we see when we do it with great precision, mercy, right? It might look small in comparison to other aerobic movements, but it should create some serious heat there in the tush and outer hips, right? So working our balancing muscles. You can stay facing me. Soften the knees, so we just get that little bounce. So find that little bounce. Keep your heels down. Let your arms be loose. So we're just letting the foot, the ankles, the Achilles get that nice little bounce. And then come to a softened knee position and settle in there, removing the bounce. I don't know, now my muscles won't stop bouncing. All right, hands are gonna come to that hinge. We're gonna hinge from that same spot again. So as we go from that same spot, taking our arms out in front of us, spine stays long. You're gonna lift one heel off, put it down. Lift the other heel off, put it down. When we lift the heel off, try to have the weight that's on the ball of your foot between your first and second toe. So we don't wanna roll out to the pinky. Stay right between that first and second toe. Spine is long. Start realizing how your back muscles have to work to hold your arms out there. Last 2. Last one. What stays in the same spot? Lift both heels. Both heels. Both heels. Both heels. Woo! Stay between that first and second toe. Yeah. 3, 2, stay up there. Can you find a little pulse? Pulse, pulse, pulse off your heels between the first and second toes. 3, 2, 1. Heels down, unhinge, legs straighten, shake them out. Anybody else sweating? My back is pretty damp right now. All right, so here we go. I'll sit to this angle again. Soften the knees, but your heels stay down. Hinging from the hips. So finding that flat back again. Now arms are going to go out. If you can, we were here. I want you to creep up as high as you can, as if they're next to your ears. So anywhere from down here to up here. Good. Now from this position, tail goes back, chest leads you, but I'm still looking to keep a flat back. Now I want you to lead with your thumbs and your back muscles and open up that hinge. Notice my knees are still bent. So hinge at the hips, flat back. Abs pull in, lead with your thumbs and your back. Keep your back straight, just unhinge the hips. And then unhinge the knees. Hinge at the knees, hinge at the hips, flat back, tail goes behind us, fingers reach forward. Now lead with your thumbs and your back muscles to bring yourself as upright as possible. And then unhinge from the knees. Knees first, hinge at the hips. Ooh, straight back, straight back, straight back. Get that tailbone behind us, get it behind us. Now lead with your thumbs and your back muscles to unhinge. Keep your knees bent, unhinge, unhinge from the hips, unhinge from the hips. And now unhinge from the knees. Let your arms come down and shake everything out. Oh my mercy. I'm going rogue here, folks. Okay, you can unmute. I need to know from you if you all are getting that in your back, like in a positive manner, not like low back pain. So you can unmute. I would like someone, I don't care, it can be Renee, can chime in.
Yeah.
Okay. You can hear like I'm out of breath. So that was like how Jane was, right, teaching clientele how not to round their spine, but yet what if you have to pick something up off the floor? Hinge your knees, hinge at your hips flat back, pick the thing up, unhinge the knees. Well, I did it 2 times in her class. My back muscles were on fire because I wasn't using like what felt more like maybe my glutes, right, or my legs to just pop straight up, like to actually use the back muscles, right? I thought it was super effective and I did it twice. So like I wanted to like point that out to you today. If you weren't feeling it right away, it's okay, right? Some of it is that imagery piece to like get it to click. So, okay, we're gonna do one more little series here. All right, thank you, Renee. I just needed to know that more than a thumbs up. Okay. I'm gonna get rid of my little box there so I can see everybody. All right, so as we come back to our sides, the change that we're gonna make is we're gonna add a leg motion to it, okay? So as I come to so you can see my side, you can stay that way. I want you to soften your knees, and then we're gonna start that hinge. So I hinge here, my back stays flat. Now, not such a big deal, right? If we come back out of this, think back, lift you, then knees on hinge. I mean, you're all aware, right, of these differences. So try it one more time. Knees and hips. Unhinge the hips using your back. Unhinge the knees. Now the issue is when we start adding more weight via our limbs. So soften the knees. Arms come up towards those ears or right as close to it as you can. This is fine too. And as I find that soft knee position, I'm now going to hinge at the hips, setting my tail behind me, my fingertips forward. Now keep those arms as high as you can, like you're trying to bring your thumbs to the ceiling. Can you sit a little bit more weight into your heels? Now, yes, you would feel your butt turn on, but can you lead up with your back muscles? So my knees aren't going to change. My knees aren't changing. My knees aren't changing. I got to open from the hips. Oh, whoa. And then straightening the legs. Bend the knees one more time. And now hinge from the hips. Send your tail behind you. Reach through your fingers. Now I want your weight toward the ball of your feet. Woo, right? That makes you feel like I could fall forward. Now from this position, use your back muscles. Keep your knees bent just the same. Use your back muscles. Use your back muscles. How high can you get? How upright can you get without unfolding your knees? Oh, I'm shaking like a maniac. And then straighten the legs. Arms come down, shake everything out. Woo. If you were feeling that like me, don't be surprised tomorrow when your upper back muscles feel sore, right? So go into your windmill. Oh my gosh, well that feels like a breeze. Last 3. Well, and we did all just meet, so if I just seem like I'm on my own crazy trip, you know, it's not the first time you've gone there with me. But seriously, my back muscles can feel that so quickly. Makes me realize how much I compensate using my leg strength. Shake those arms out. And honestly, if you can stick around a couple minutes after class, I'm sure Jane is more than willing to pipe in about that. She probably has some thoughts. Am I right, Jane? Fingertips come behind you, interlace those hands, and just draw your hands down your buttons. Now, if this brings us into this position, right? We want to open the chest. We're getting a good stretch here, I hope. So just walk those fingers down your tush like someone's pulling them to the floor. Opening that chest. So take a couple breaths, real intentional here. Breathing in through your nose. Take your time, let it be full. And exhale, let it go. See if those fingertips can make it any further down. And then inhale, try to keep them where they're at. You feel how just your breathing accessory muscles affect the stretch of your chest into your shoulder, I hope. And exhale, let it go. Oh, just letting those arms release. Awesome. All right, so we're gonna make our way onto the floor. We're gonna use the glides. So what we've been doing is in flat back, right? So we've gone side to side, but we're gonna go into bridging, okay? So I give you that information. So if you want to set up, depending on your floor surface, so that maybe you're perpendicular to your mat. Where am I? Okay, there I am. Maybe you want to be perpendicular to your mat so that your glides or your towels, like in my case, can be out here and my head will be here. Trying to make sure I have a decent angle there, but I think I'm going to have to just get down to check. I think that's okay, actually. So now in this case, my glides are on my rug. If you have towels, you might like it to have your towels like on a wood floor, right? And not on your mat. But the mat gives us a little cush. Now, you certainly can still use, right, a little towel beneath your head, because I realize you're not on your mat, right? So you have your little hand towel out, you can take that. Now, we're gonna just set our feet on our glides, hands down by our sides. I got to turn to y'all a little bit more. All right, so in this position now, we're gonna start just with that pelvic tilt first because it is the leader. So we wanna think if there was a marble sitting down here on our pubic bone, that I'm gonna draw my abs in and let the marble roll to my belly button. And then there it is, down in my belly. All right, so from here, I'm gonna push into my glides, but I'm gonna keep that tilt happening. I don't just kind of let go of the tilt and push through my legs. And from here, I want you to peel up, and I want you to just get to the point where you lift your lower ribs. Don't go any higher. And now let each bone come down one at a time. And can you feel each piece of the lower back touch before you let the marble roll back to your pubic bone? Now let's roll that marble towards our belly button. Keep it there. Press into your glides. Feel the back lift. Again, going for just lower ribs lifting, no higher. And as I come down, I want to really focus bone by bone by bone. I'm trying to feel all the parts of my low back touch. And then as the marble rolls to my pubic bone, out I go. Now, I'm hoping you're feeling what I'm feeling, and that is that my hamstrings and my butt is already very awake because it realizes it's on a moving surface. So if you have more stability than that, maybe you didn't feel it yet, but here we go. We're adding the movement. Bringing the marble to the belly button. Keep it there. Start pressing into your glides, and we're only again lifting to the lower ribs. Some of you are going to really want to like get up there, and that's because you can kind of fall into a resting pattern up there. So stay where it's nice and low through the bridge. Let one leg slide out and back in. The other leg slides out, back in. My goal is to keep my pelvis steady for now. Out and in. Backs of my legs are wide awake. And in. Out and in. One more each side. Out. Lost my glide. And back in. Last one. Out and back in. Let each bone come down. Stay with it. I know my hamstrings are talking. And all the way through the low back, let the marble roll towards the pubic bone. Go ahead and pull those knees in. You can widen them. Little rock. Give those hamstrings a little baby break. And then go ahead and just kick those legs like an upset toddler. Shake them, shake them. Knees go in and out, in and out, in and out. You want to be flailing here. You're not in control. Flail those legs around and then find them back to your glides. Okay, here we go. Now we're going to add a little hip dip into this. So find the tilt. Marble rolls to the belly. Backs of my legs are freaking out. Already starting to feel the hamstrings lift up into it. Great. So I'm going to slide my left leg out and let then my hips pivot or rotate towards the left. And now first, I want to press into my right side and get my hips back to level. Then I pull the left leg in. Slide the right leg out. Drop your hips to the right. Without resting them, pick them back up to center and pull the glide in. Leg goes out, dip to the same side. Come back to center, draw the glide in. One more this side, leg goes out, pivot, push through that left leg, pick your hips up, get them level, then pull the right side in. Glide the spine down, take your time, and all the way marble rolls back to the pubic bone. Beautiful, pull those knees in. Those are not easy. I hope you're all feeling your hammies too. Yes? Ray, you feeling your hammies? Okay. All right, so we're gonna add another one to it. Now, when we currently are rolling, sorry, we're rolling right now. When we're currently extending our leg out, you kind of feel it's just your heel on your glide. This time when we send the leg out, we're actually gonna rotate the leg to the side. So you're gonna feel the outside edge of your foot on your glide. So let's bring them right back flat down. We start the same way. All right, so from this position, my hamstrings are already freaking out. So roll the marble towards the belly button. Now start putting pressure into your feet. I'm gonna glide up my leg closest to you first. So my right leg is gonna go out. Now when I did my hips to you guys, I actually turned my foot. So the outside edge of my foot is on my glide. And now I'm gonna pull the outside edge of my foot in and out. What this is doing is making my right leg be like a little frog leg. And I keep pushing through my left. Last 3, 2, and 1. Legs bent. Pull the knee back to center. Now I lost my glide. Maybe you did too. I can still slide my foot. So now we're going to go ahead and slide the left leg out. Drop our hips to the left to get the outside of the foot. And now bend and straighten your left leg. So one side is doing the little frog leg. Trying to keep hips just slightly dipped and really pushing through the right foot. Right cheek is very awake. 3, 2, and last one. Bring the knee up. Glide. Bone by bone by bone. Feet back on. All right, here we go. So now, marble rolls to the navel, and up we come. Now, remember, I'm only getting to my low ribs. As my legs are getting tired, I feel myself wanting to get way up there. Drop those ribs down a little bit. Okay, so staying right here. Open your knees, both of them, and bring them back fist width apart. Don't touch them together. Open, close. So I'm just rolling out on my feet, not letting my buns lower down. Trying to keep those lower ribs just above the mat. Notice some of you, you'll start arching your back, trying to help yourself out instead of working through the legs. Now keep those frog legs open. Can you slide one leg out and back in? Slide one leg out, back in. If the answer is no way, Jose, then just keep opening and closing your book. One leg out and in. One leg out and in. Hey, you can try it. Both legs out. Oh, I can do that, but I'm coming in one at a time. Both legs out, one at a time in. Or stay singles, or open and close your book. We're all going to do 3 more in the way you're choosing to do it, listening to your body. Last one. Everybody likes shoulder width apart, or fist, and lower, down, down, down. Hug your knees into your chest one last time. Give yourself a nice little rock there. Let the legs go rather wide. Wonderful. All right, take both of your hands, and I want you to put them on top of one another and press them into your front of your thigh. So like push a war, right? If my arms win, it would push my leg away, but my leg is going, nope, I'm staying here, thank you. And extend the other leg away to a hover. Oh my word, it's already worked. All right, we switch legs, push. 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 Who's still thinking about their butt? Switch legs, push. Switch legs, push. One more, switch and push. Last one, switch and push. And bring the feet down. Both hands come behind the head. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling to prepare. As we exhale, we're going to let the float of the head and the upper shoulder blades come with our visual of this being long, right? We're not rounded. We've elevated and we're lengthening. And from this position, head is heavy in the hands. Can you now think of the abs maintaining the work? And can you extend your arms out next to those ears? And then bring your hands back behind your head for a little support. Let yourself maintain. And then can the arms go floating out as if it doesn't change much for you. And then come back in. So it's like, yeah, I like the head support, but if I have to go there for a minute, it's all in my abs. Let those arms reach out. Now let just your left hand come behind your head, and your right hand is just going to reach across the room. Reach over there. And now up to the ceiling, and you come back to center. Reach it back behind us, and then bring your right hand behind your head. A little support, but crank up the abs. Let the left arm come free. Reach it behind. Now reach it out to the side, and then let your friend pull you over. Very gently. Head over to that side. Stay long. Abs are keeping you afloat. And then bringing that arm back in, overhead, and then support your head and let yourself come down. Bring your right leg to tabletop. Both hands to it. You hear me talking myself into it? Other leg floats. Push, switch, push, switch, push, switch, push, switch, push, switch, push. Two more. Switch, push, and switch, push. Bring the feet down carefully, gracefully, both hands behind the head. Floating the chest up. Again, I'm thinking length. Reach one arm out. Bring it out to the side. Let your friend pull you. Bring your hand back to your hip, and the same one goes back overhead. Out to the side. Let your friend pull you. Back to the hip, all the way overhead. Bring it out to the side. Let your friend pull you. And back to the hip and behind the head now. Other arm reaches behind. Out to the side, your friend pulls you. Bring your hand back to your hip center. Back overhead. Out to the side, friend pulls to the hip. And then back overhead. One more time. Out to the side, friend pulls. Back to the hip and behind your head for support. Keep that little float or lower down to neutral. Legs are coming to tabletop. Good. Bring your legs back down because your teacher needs to move. I'm perpendicular on my mat, so I'm going to tell you my butt's going off the end. So it's like pushing me into a tilt to my pelvis that I do not want. I just need to move back. All right, stay in your flow or go into your neutral, sorry. Tabletop legs. Oh, much better. Okay, that was working against me in a very bad way. All right, one leg reaches out, and then they switch. And they switch. And they switch. Can you take it slightly off center? One way or another, right? I notice the line is here. I took my legs over to the right side of my line. And now take it to the other side, slightly off center. Two more. Last one. Come to center. Let your legs extend out, touch your heels together. We're going frogs and reach. Pull your heels in and reach. Good, frogs and reach. Last two, frogs and reach. Woo, frogs and reach. Lower one leg, the other, and lengthen out. Reaching away. Stretch those abs out. Why don't you reach through your right heel like you're pushing into a wall and reach the right arm overhead. So I'm trying to touch both walls in my room. Reach, 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 reach. And then let your left hand grab your right wrist and think of pulling you slightly to the side. Keep reaching through that right heel. Go ahead and release that wrist and release the stretch. Reach through your left heel. Let your left hand reach. Looking for both sides of the room. Push into that heel. Really reach for it. Push into the wall. Reach for the other side. Let your hand grab that left wrist and give it a little extra pull. Keep stretching through that heel. Reach, 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 reach. And then release the hand, bringing the hands back down to the hips. Go ahead and bend the knees. So I just want you to rock side to side. Think of just kind of rolling from one bun to the other. Good, little rock, good rock. Oh, that feels nice. Right, you keep it as small or as big as what feels good. All right, start with some arm circles. So both arms are going to reach up overhead and circle around to your hips. You guys are staying down. I'm just checking out the time. All right, so as you circle around, be mindful as the arms come up that we're not lifting the rib cage. It's not a back bend. All right. Let those arms move. Feel the lower ribs stay connected to the mat. I hope. We've done a lot of nice work for that today. Maybe as you go around, let your palms face the ceiling and reach to the sides of the room. Feeling at some point of chest and upper arm stretch. One more. And around we go. So this is the shape we're going to make, but we're going to turn ourselves onto our stomachs. So you can roll to your side. My glides are still where my feet are because that's where I worked with them last. I'm going to assume yours are similar. So roll to your side, press your way up, and I'm going to get myself set up the other direction because I want my hands on my glides. I am so sweaty right now. All right, so onto my stomach. Now again, I like being perpendicular to my mat because I want a little cushion underneath my pelvis, right? But I also want the play of letting my glides go and have a lot of room to work with. So if you can take that approach with that perpendicular mat, then go for it. Just taking this down so y'all can see. All right, I know these are a crowd pleaser. All right, hands to the glides. We're going to start up on our forearms and elbows. And one arm is going to stay just like that. Now right away, be mindful that we're pushing into the floor, right? Instead of letting our chest fall between our armpits, we're pushing to try to lift our chest up toward the armpit level. One arm is going to go out and circle around and come back. Out, circle around. It's a little wax on, wax off for the Karate Kid fans in the group. And back down. So when I'm doing this, I'm trying to stay extremely stable so that the only thing moving is that arm making the circle. I feel lots of muscles engaged to keep me centered. Now trying not to rock side to side. And then you know where this is going, right? Both arms. And when I come in, my elbows slide back into place. I slide out, open around, come in, slide my elbows, and I'm pushing into the floor here again. Out and around, elbows push. Out, elbows float. And around, come in, slide them in for a landing. One more, arms out, come around, slide the elbows in for the landing. Okay, go out, we're gonna stay there. Ooh. Taking one arm out and around now. So we'll stay higher in the bridge. You can always go back to letting one of those elbows stay in that landing position. I do love this though, because it gets your upper arms working a little differently. Make sure your shoulders are just soft away from your ears, right? This isn't about creating tension. You do not need to drive your shoulders up into your ears. If you feel that, push down into your glides. You can't do both of those things. You can't be up in your ears and with your shoulders and be pushing down. One or the other, so push down. One more. Can you stay up here for me and pull your elbows like they're gonna touch, but mine are not, and straight out. So the arms pull in and out, in and out. Back is certainly working. Two more. Last one. And lower down. So why don't you look at me, I'll look at you. We'll learn it here. Both arms are out to the sides, but I have my glide still. All right, so I'm gonna start with the arm behind me. All I'm doing is bending my arm to pull my glide next to my armpit. So my elbow is now off the floor. You can see it poking up there. I'm gonna push into that arm and start lifting into my extension, but I stay looking at all of you. And then I'm gonna pull this arm in to meet it. Now I'm gonna start lowering into my other arm, and the arm slides away, and I lower my head looking at that arm. Pressing into the bent arm to lift up, and can you bring the other glide in to meet you? Now here's the thing, I'm going into a T shape. You could lower down and make this into more of a Y, okay? So if being here is too much extension for you, no problem. You just bring your arms out further away from you. Okay? So I'm going to bend my left elbow. I'm pushing into my left arm, and I'm bringing my right arm to meet it. Now I'm going to bend into my right. I'm letting my left slide away, and I'm looking at it as I go down. Pushing into my right arm, bring the left one to meet it. Bending into my left as my right one goes away, I watch it. Good. Now I'm pushing into my left. I'm going to pull the straight arm back to meet the left. Start bending my right and glide away and look. Last one, pushing into that arm. Pull them back in to meet each other. Great. Last one here, everybody. I'm getting a great ab stretch right here. Last one here. When you go down, we lower the chest out to the sides, bend those arms, push up. Out we go. Out to the sides, big circles, bend the elbows, push up. Out to the sides, around we go. Bend the elbows, push out. Out we go, one more. Around we come. Push up. We're going the other way to finish. As your arms go out, you start lowering down and they go overhead. Pull them to you to lift up. Open out, you begin to lower down. Overhead, pull them to you, lift up. One more here, out we go. And around we go. Last one, lift up. Great, you're gonna keep your one hand on the glide and you're gonna let it slide away and roll to me. Ooh. Notice my armpit is not on the floor. Now I'm gonna look for this other glide and I'm going the other way. I'm gonna slide this hand out, roll away from all of you, and see if I can lift that arm up, balancing on my side. Find that other glide, roll back to center, roll to me, lift the arm up. Nice job. Can you find the glide? Glide away. One more time. Pull it in. Rotate away. Lift that arm up. And find the glide. Glide them both away and onto your tummy. Woo! Bring yourself up. Let's go into a little child's pose. This is a stretch, shall we? So you can let your knees go rather wide, which should feel pretty darn good. You can come onto your forearms and just rock those hips back. You can stretch those arms out to straight, but just find that little rocking sensation. Little rock. And then let those arms go out straight. Let's reach one arm underneath. And then pull that arm back out. Let's reach the other way. Good, and pulling that arm back out. Let's find our way onto hands and knees. Tuck your toes under behind you. And we're just gonna do a little lift of those knees. Little knee hover. And then a little rock. If you prefer to do this with your knees down, you certainly can. Shift that weight. And then set the knees down. Now you can determine how much weight you want into your hands by where you're letting your weight sit in your body. But I want you to keep all of your fingers down and just lift up the palm. Make sure you can see me. Where can I go here? It's hard to know where my hand is. There we go. Okay, so fingers are down. I'm just lifting up the heel of my hand and putting it down. Just the heel, put it down. I'm going to do both, obviously. So every bit. I mean, this is kind of like when we're on our feet, right? When we go into our high heels, you stay on the ball of your foot. So think of staying on the ball of the hand. Up, down, and again, you scoot away if you need less weight, right? You come further forward if you want more. So see if you can keep those 4 fingers. That thumb comes up a little bit, obviously. Keeping the 4 fingers nice and flat on the mat. Last 3, 2, and 1. Flat hands, tuck the toes under, and lift your knees to the hover. Stepping back to plank. And if you need to take your knees down, do so. You're going to lower yourself down, 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 down. And then just roll right onto your back. All the way over you go. So once you get onto your back, go ahead and wiggle your body as needed to feel like you're getting yourself situated, right? Sometimes we'll feel it in our different parts, our legs, our hips, our low back, our shoulder blades, right? Where we need to kind of like wiggle and squirm to find a place our body's willing to settle in. I don't know, we're kind of hopefully like really warm caramel right now and your body's happy to just melt right into your mouth. Let your legs come to the edges of your mat. Let your arms widen a bit off of your mat and your palms are just open to the sky. So we're just going to be really mindful here to calm ourselves back down to a more natural rhythm of breath. Being intentional though that we draw it through the nose and out the mouth. So I just want you to start thinking of slowing your speed of breath down. Might be different than mine. I'm sure it is, right? I'm the one doing all the talking. So you're going to inhale through your nose, exhale out the mouth, and just let your breath get slower and slower and slower. Think of drawing your chin into your chest just slightly, and then push the back of your head down into your mat. So find some pressure, push, 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 push. We're giving ourselves double, quadruple shins, push, 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 and then just release. Chin comes down, press into the back of the head. Feel the back of the neck muscles getting a stretch. You might feel this all the way down between your shoulder blades. Push, 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 and release. Come to a slower breath. I'm wrapping each one of you up in a tight, tight blanket of love, like a little swaddled baby, a little burrito wrap. So although I can't physically put my arms around you today, I want you to think of getting that just unconditional love hug from a friend. Take a moment and just find a word of meaning for you today. Inhale it in. Exhale. When you're ready, you can go ahead and come all the way up. I hope everybody has a wonderful, sunny week ahead of you.